Head of Public Affairs of that institution, John Kapi, joins me live to provide some more updates on what they've been telling the public. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I mean, the exam is ongoing. I understand the exam will end sometime towards the end of this month. Why was it so necessary for WAEC to hold a press conference midway or midstream to address what?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. I think before the examinations began, we held a press briefing, and we told everyone that we'll be giving updates. It's part of our policy to give regular updates on what is happening around the country as far as our operations are concerned.
I see. So what were some of the highlights, or what have you seen so far in the conduct of the examination?
Well, we've seen two things. One, we'll look at the positive side first. There are a number of the schools that we visited that have exhibited, adherence to the rules governing the conduct of the examination. We've observed a lot of composure on the part of the candidates. We've also seen a lot of decorum on the part of supervisors and invigilators. But there are others also that have given us a lot of cause for worry, because there have been cases of, collection of monies from the candidates by teachers with the promise of assisting them. And so that seems to give the children or the candidates a certain sense of, ownership of the examination, and they want to be allowed to have their way with everything.
I see. You also talked about examination irregularities, citing foreign materials on candidates in examination halls, amongst other things. In terms of foreign materials on candidates in examination halls, I thought prior to the examination, you made the public aware that you were going to conduct searches on the candidates before they enter the exam hall. Did that happen? How are they able to go into the exam hall with foreign materials when you have searched them?
That's correct. So you would bear me out that we do not have our personnel everywhere in this country. We depend on our partners, that is the invigilators and supervisors, to perform that task on our behalf. If we find these things on the candidates in examination halls, that presupposes that that aspect of the job was not done or was not properly done.
I see. You also say that you realize that snapshots were taken of the question papers and circulated via social media, WhatsApp platforms and Telegram channels particularly. But what does this do? They are in the exam hall writing the exams. In the first place, how are you said the pictures are taken by the invigilators, right? So if the invigilators take pictures of the exam papers and share it on social media whilst they are in the hall writing the exam, does that affect the exam in any way? Because they will have no access to social media or to the platforms to see that the questions are being answered or not. Is that a problem?
Now, if you probably listened to our media briefing today, we mentioned the fact that candidates smuggle mobile phones into the examination halls. We at one particular school, we collected as much as 86 phones on a particular day. So that tells you that, and again, we are monitoring all these social media sites, and we have been able to discover that they are not able to post anything before the examination. And so the advice is for candidates to go into the halls with their phones if they can, and, be helped as the examination, goes on.
I see. So you also talk about smuggling of mobile phones and other electronic gadgets, which you've just dealt with. But you said that during the government paper, for example, 86 mobile phones were seized from candidates at the O2 Memorial SHS in Bibiani. And some candidates have also been caught with smartwatches. So in just one school, 86 mobile phones were seized from the candidates in one paper?
That's correct.
I see. So when you see things like that, don't you question the school? Don't you question the invigilators and other supervisors deployed to oversee the exams?
Certainly. So I think as in parts of our presentation this morning, we indicated that some of these supervisors have been picked up, they've been relieved of their duties and handed over to the police. We have also had cause to dismiss some invigilators from some of the centers because we've discovered them not to be up to the task. So obviously, we are taking action against any examination official, that is, those who are supposed to be actively conducting the or supervising the examination at the various centers. We're taking action against them because they've breached some of the rules.
I see. You also talked about the fact that some schools lock the school gate to prevent your monitors from gaining access to the schools to do their monitoring. And you mentioned again the Otu Memorial Senior High School in Bibiani. I'm just wondering, this particular school has come up a number of times. What really you'll be doing about that school? Is it a case that, or would the rules allow you to blacklist a school such that those students from those schools cannot register for exams in the following year? Is that possible per your rules or laws?
That is possible. We recognize institutions that are found to have overwhelmingly breached our rules. So an example is Otu Memorial. As I can say that yesterday we had to call for military enforcement because, again, they were being hostile towards our monitors who had gone there to ensure sanity. So going forward, there are options that we have. Even as the exams are going on right now, we can look for a suitable alternative and move the entire center to the place to write the examination. Going forward, we can also decide that we're going to derecognize them, and so they would not be able to register independently and write as candidates of that particular institution.
Talk to us on what you term impersonation or insertion of scripts.
Right. So basically, impersonation is having somebody who is not a bona fide candidate writing the examination on behalf of the bona fide candidate. For example, the example that we gave at Only Believe Senior High School, Akukurentumi, a national service person, attempted. He was actually in the examination or writing the exam, writing for somebody else, but our verification machine discovered that he was not the actual candidate. We also picked up one from Christian IPS. So these are people who are writing the exam on behalf of some other candidates. And so they have also been handed over to the police. For the issue about the insertion, we realized that at Ideal College La Paz campus, there was this person who attempted, the supervisor actually, there were 7 extra scripts, and these were meant for candidates who were absent for the examination. And so, obviously, we had to, relieve the man of his duties and to hand him over to the police. Yeah.
All right. So, what's the situation with leakages? Every now and then, we hear about leakage of some of the questions or papers. Have we had cause to worry about the same phenomenon this year?
This year, we have not had any cause to worry because we are monitoring all the rogue websites. We listed them in our presentation today. And so far, we have not come across any issue of that nature. So for issues of leakage, for now, we haven't seen anything.
Well, will you say that the irregularities, have been more prevalent in public institutions or private?
It is difficult to put a finger on that for now because we are monitoring. As I was speaking with you, I'm still in the office monitoring the reports that are coming. So it is probably after the examination that we'll be able to do the analysis and see, which ones are more prevalent than others.
So, are you concerned? Really, before even that, will you say that the number of irregularities you've recorded so far this year it's been unprecedented compared to the previous years?
It's quite overwhelming because we've discovered there are new trends, especially where we have evidence of teachers or school authorities, collecting monies from these candidates. So you can tell that there's a certain level of collusion between the candidates and the authorities of the school. So that is where the problem is as we speak. Yeah.
Well, what will you attribute this hike in irregularities to? I mean, what does your analysis so far tell you as the root cause of these irregularities?
Well, I think that there is no opportunity for anyone to get anything from anywhere else. This is just my guess. We are still looking at the nature of it and, trying to, assign reasons to the reason, as to why we have this level of, irregularity. Yeah.
I see. But are you also concerned as WAEC that the number of irregularities you are recording could affect the integrity of your certificate?
Obviously, there's cause to worry, but we also have mechanisms with which we are able to determine who should be certificated and who should not. And so, much as we are worried about this, we are intensifying our monitoring so as to be able to tell, which of these candidates would qualify for a good certificate and which ones would not.
All right. It's almost time. I mean, if some of the candidates are listening to us now, I mean, as an official of WAEC, what can you tell them? I mean, speak to them directly.
Well, for all our candidates who are taking the examination, my appeal is a simple one. The examination is nothing that is dropping from heaven. It is something that you have studied about. It's something that you've been through for the past 3 years. And so it is possible for you to pass your examination without soliciting support from anybody. Remember that any form of cheating breaches our rules, and anybody who is found culpable will face the law as expected.
I see. We are grateful. Thank you so much for speaking to us. John Kapi, Head of Public Affairs at the West Africa Examination Council.